Hi everybody, my name is Sarah, Pearls of Wisdom and Food, and I just did my nails so they're wet, so I couldn't fix my hair. So if I look like I just woke up and I'm sitting here in my bathrobe and I'm this old hag with wrinkles, you may be correct. So here we are. What will the topic be today? The topic today is avoiding temptation and derailment from your progress and your program and your plan and your tracker, right? How easy is it to get derailed? How easy is it to absolutely go blank or go into that zone when you start to eat something that you're not supposed to, and it's like your brain is just like all lit up and it's like more, give me more. And for me, it was logic. This is my addict had logic that said, if you're gonna binge, get it all out of the way now, because after that you're never going to do it again. So just have at it, get it out of the way. And of course, hello, we know what happens after that. So for that little bit, and the funny part is once you zone out in the middle of a binge, so you're overeating, and you've zoned out, right? So you're like just, numb and still eating and still, because you still think you're tasting it, but you're not. It's kind of like the drug has taken over and you're just being lulled into this place where you think you're if you have a food addiction like I do, your food addict, mine is named Miss Slick, says, oh, this is satiety, right? It is not satiety, as you know. It is just getting to that place where you're either going to barf or you're going to make yourself barf. And so all that uncomfortableness, and if you've been being consistent and structured and disciplined on your food program, even if you're not losing weight, just the consistency of eating better, more nutritionally dense, healthier, and still tracked foods, your body, your poor digestive system, it's not going to be used to the garbage again. I'm just assuming that you're overeating garbage. How silly of me, or presumptive of me. Yeah, as if, right? And so your body isn't going to be used to this insult, this crudeness that you're laying onto your whole system that you haven't had for so long. And not unlike being an alcoholic, if your body was beginning to heal and get better, maybe even fat adapted to the low carb, high fat keto plans, it's been adjusting, it's adapted, it's used to it. You've become a fat burner and not a sugar burner. That's why it's so important to work on the mental part of all of this, the emotional part of all of this, our past connected to all of these sugary, white floured items and the wrong kinds of fat along with them. Fat is not bad. Combine it with the standard American diet and it won't work. But fat, without the standard American diet, without the grains, without the sugars, is good for you. I mean, it's still good for you, but you'll gain weight eating the standard American diet with the healthy fats. It just somehow doesn't work, which is too bad, because a lot of people try to work the smart points with healthy fats, and it's very, very difficult. I mean, maybe if you're having lots of veggies, but if you're having lots of veggies and fruits, you're getting way too much sugar just to feel full, right? You're following me, right? So, getting derailed is the logic that I would have when I was doing it, is that I'll just have this, get it out of here, and I won't ever buy it again. Now, at the end of my binging, which was over 2 years ago, 2014 in June, I was eating 2 full cakes a week. And what would happen was I would go to Market Basket and I would buy the salted caramel cake and I would buy the tiramisu cake. And I would buy Greg other things. He's more of a pastry person than a cake person, which is good. So I'm not looking at my former binge foods around the house. And what he eats as treats has no appeal to me. So I'm lucky. And I don't know if that's because I worked at squinting at it, which is what I was told to do about things that are in the house that I have to live with, which would be goodies. So I don't know if it's because I learned to squint so well that now I don't even see them, or if it really, my addiction was so fine-tuned at the end. It would be those 2 cakes and nothing else. And when I switched over, I was getting things like the pizza Fit and Free, which, what did it have, like 5 smart points, 6 smart points? And I would add asparagus and an ounce of cheese on top of the asparagus. It was a knife and fork type of pizza. And that carried me through Weight Watchers. That took care of garbage, the desire. And I had a lot of the Weight Watcher novelties in my, 6 months on Weight Watchers, or 6 months with having those sort of things? No, it was a whole year, because then I gave up wheat and sugar in August 2015. So I wasn't having Weight Watcher novelties, and I wasn't having Fit and Free. And of course, because I'm a hoarder of sorts, I had probably a dozen Fit and Free. And then I had switched over to the organic one, and so probably had a dozen of that. So I brought them to my job. And the novelties I brought to my job as well. I just piled them into my bag one day and brought them over there and put them in their freezer. And of course they think, I'm trying to entice them into going into Weight Watchers and losing weight. And it's like, no, I'm just getting it out of my house. So anyway, if you've become derailed and you're at the place that you're at where the derailment is beginning to take place. Now, sometimes for me, a derailment would be a branching out. So if I was, say we were going someplace and and we don't even go out to eat anymore because we like what we cook here. So if we were going out to eat, say it was like, there's a place called Not Your Average Joe's here in the Northeast, and they have this most divine dessert, and the name of it just flashed in front of me. It's got a cute name, and it was my go-to dessert, and it was decadent, and it was something that I kept asking for more sauce to put on it, on this dessert, and they would keep accommodating me. Should have shut me off, but they didn't. This is a sauce girl, not into the sauce, right? So there I am, and they also have the most divine bread and dipping oil. It probably isn't even oil, but and so if I was going, what I would do in the end, but still eating the wrong things and too much of them at times, my derailment came where I was just going to have the dessert. It wasn't like I was tracking or anything. It was like I would commit to only eating the dessert. I would get an entree that did not, that the bread wouldn't have matched, right? But in the end, what I would do is say, I'm just going to have the Cobb salad, right? Which is like keto friendly, low carb, high fat friendly, but I didn't know anything about that at that point. And the dessert. Well, then they'd bring the bread. And so it'd be like, well, I'd start negotiating. I'm negotiating with Ms. Slick about what I'm going to have. Okay, well, I'll only have 2 pieces of bread and dip that, right? And of course the dipping thing is like wiped clean because I've got it soaking in there, so it's like, oozing. It's not like dipping, it's like soaking for me because I'm Little Miss Piggy. When I'm going, I'm going. And so then it would be 2 pieces, and of course I would somehow, take the 2 biggest pieces. And, oftentimes I was with people that had moderation. Those were my best friends, because then I could have all the bread. And so I would do it, And of course, even by the time I finished that second slice of bread, and the Cobb salad hadn't even come out yet, right? So, and I'm talking all the way through it. So it's not like I'm sitting there savoring it. I'm just like talking and stuffing and talking and stuffing, and the brain is lit up, and here I go. And so, you know, my addiction of food, I'd eat half of the Cobb salad because it's now turned into my detox food for the next day, right? The food hangover day is going to have half of the Cobb salad. So the bread is sitting in my stomach like a lead bowling ball. You know, it feels like it's 10 pounds. My gut is probably already touching the side of the table. Not my boobs, my gut from swelling from the bread. And then, of course, I ordered the dessert because that was the point. When they would say, Sarah, where do you want to go? I would say, oh yeah, not your average Joe's because of the dessert. And then I'd go backwards. So I'd eat all of the dessert because I have no full button when it comes to the sugar binge. And yeah, so I'd take home half of the Cobb salad, fully intending that to be, I'd add like maybe another hard-boiled egg to it. Oh how diet of me the next day. And that would be my detoxing from my food binge, which was white flour and white sugar, start to finish, at the restaurant. And so that's how I derail. That's my logic when Mrs. Slick takes the wheel and all sanity leaves my head. When my brain lights up with the wrong foods, there is no sanity left. The logic of my addict is that we can contain this. So, in the 2+ years that I've been doing what I've been doing, from Weight Watchers to no grains and no sugar, low carb, high fat, and keto, in the 2+ years that I've been doing this, the emotional work and the emotional detachment to all of that is what I've been working on because I don't want to be derailed again. So the structure and the discipline is what suits me. And in a video I did yesterday, I quoted Karl Lagerfeld, a famous designer. And he says when they bring in all that food, when they're having photo shoots for everybody, he looks at that food and he envisions plastic. And that stuck with me. That type of garbage that you see at these buffets, all the garbage that's laid out for you, I see as plastic, or I will see as plastic from here on in. I loved that. That made the most sense to me because it's not even food. I mean, what Danish pastry has nutrition in it? I'm sorry, even if it was whole grain, there's no nutrition in it, right? And so even a glass of fresh squeezed orange juice, as much as I loved that, if I had it again, because Greg still loves it, so I buy it at Market Basket, I might have 2 ounces of it if I had to have fresh squeezed orange juice. I mean, it's one of the finer delights in life, like fresh peas to me, anyway. But there's not too much else at a breakfast buffet that's screaming, I'm healthy for you. I mean, for the most part, you know, when I've gone to so many trainings and seminars to maintain my license, they will have the boxes of the cereal, they will have the cartons of the milk, usually low fat, and they will have a big bowl of fruit, and they will have orange juice and maybe a different juice, and then they will have a lot of different little pastries, and that's it. And so maybe like little pieces of coffee cake or something like that. And so I definitely, if I was going to one of those trainings, I would definitely bring my own food, but because I don't want to derail. And I know, for me, derailment can start in the AM. My old food habits were, if I'm going to have a long day of all the wrong foods, might as well start with breakfast. And so, taken as a meal or as a treat, it had no harm in it. But taken it as the beginning of a full day of eating the wrong things was my idea of a binge. It's not like I'm sitting there over the trash, you know, shoving in as many chips as I can, you know, with what's falling out of my mouth going into the trash. My binges started in the morning with a great big something something, And then at lunch there was more something something. And then at dinner it would probably be, the biggest sundae that they had because I was full. Yeah, right. And so, I'd just like drive home, like say we would go to Provincetown or Martha's Vineyard or some touristy thing. So from start to finish, it's junky, 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 junky. So the whole day doesn't involve shoving food in, but the whole day would probably have 2 to 3 times the amount of calories I would have on a regular day. But I wasn't paying attention to any of that. It was called a treat because we were in another town. It was for the day. We were with other people. And so it was eat, 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 because all these things are surrounded by food. So I'm not there today, and I need to maintain that. So I don't want to get derailed. So the structure and discipline hold me in tight. It's like Spanx for me. And so putting my food in the tracker and knowing it's there and having the food that I put in the tracker available for the meal is part of it. And then following that is the structure and discipline that I need. It's really the arms of love around me saying, Sarah, you're taking care of yourself today. You've bought the food, it's in the tracker, it's prepared, and so you've got the structure and discipline of a good day. So you don't want to be derailed by tables of plastic that other people are having, right? So be safe out there. It's a jungle with the standard American diet. Just say no. Think of those things as plastic. They don't do anything for your body. And there's got to be better choices out there, even better bad choices, even BBCs. They have a place in somebody's food plan as they segue out of something that they shouldn't into healthy eating. Better bad choices. I'm not having the pastry with my eggs and my whatever. I'm going to have maybe toast, which is like a step up as we learn that we don't even need the toast. But that comes in a different time. Or maybe it doesn't come at all. Maybe you aren't allergic to it like I am. Anyway, have a grand day. This has been Sarah, Pearls of Wisdom and Food. Structure and discipline. Bye-bye for now.